Okay. Please respond when I ask the question. Is my voice is clear to you, or there is a problem with my voice also? Is my voice audible, crisp and clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So in case of MQTT, what will you do that? There are three entities are there. One is the publisher. One is publisher, another is subscriber, and there is a broker. Now, in case of the subscriber, whatever data they need, so they applied for that particular topic to the broker. Now, broker is connected with the publisher. Now, publisher, whenever they will send the data to broker, as per the topic applied by the subscriber, so broker send the particular topic to that particular subscriber. So that is the basic principle of MQTT protocol. Okay. Now, in case of SMQTT, secured MQTT, apart from this, we have the one is subscription, publishing, and broker. So these three stages are there. That is well defined. Apart from this, there are three other stages are there. Four stages are there. One is I have to set up the connection. Then before sending the data, I have to encrypt. Sending the data by whom? The publisher only. Now, before sending the data by the publisher, it will encrypt the data and then it will send the data to the broker. Now, broker at the time of sending the data to the subscriber, it will decrypt the data and then publish the data. So, these are the four stages in case of SMQTT. So, this is the basic difference between MQTT and SMQTT. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other question? Tell me. If you have any question, you can ask me. Repeat. Repeat in case of MQTT that whatever I told. So there are three entities are there. One is publisher. Publisher means the IoT devices. Those who are sending the data like temperature data or pressure data or the gas sensor data, whatever the data may be. So they are sending the data periodically. Periodically to whom? To the subscriber, means us, means in our mobile or our laptop, whatever it may be. Now, at the time of sending the data, they cannot send the data directly. They will have to send the data through the broker. Even the subscriber also cannot take the data directly from the publisher in MQTT protocol. In TCP/IP it is possible, but in case of MQTT it is not possible. In case of MQTT, what they have to do that they first have to apply to the broker that I need that particular data of that particular sensor, and that is basically called the topic of the data. Okay. Now, after selecting the topic, the broker will keep the topic with themselves. Broker is not going to inform about that topic to the publisher that this subscriber is wants this kind of data from the subscriber. Okay, sorry, the publisher. Now the publisher, whenever the data is available, irrespective of what type of data subscriber is subscribing or asking for, he will send all kinds of data to the broker. Means if the publisher means the IoT sensor devices has the pH data, temperature data, pressure data, all kinds of data are available with the publisher or the IoT sensor data, it will send it to the broker. Now broker will divide it as per the topic suggested by the subscriber. Means that some of the subscriber is suggesting for temperature data, some of the subscriber is suggesting for pressure data. Based on this, it will divide into several topics. Okay, and based on the topics, it will send the data to each of the publisher. Subscriber. You can see over here. Just a minute. You can see from this diagram that where client A is the publisher, and he is publishing the data. Can you see my screen? Can you see the MQTT workflow? Now it is available. Now, can you tell me? From this diagram? So, which one is publisher and which one is subscriber out of this client A, client B, and client C?
Client A is the publisher.
Exactly. Client A is the publisher. Client B and C are the subscriber. Now, client A is sending the data of speed to the broker. Now, broker will check that who has subscribed for the topic speed. So, broker has identified that client B and client C are the subscribed for the topic speed. So immediately it will send the data to that particular client B and client C only. Got it? Now in case of SMQTT, what will happen that at the time of sending the data, so first broker will establish a connection. One connection will be established. Connection to be established. That is the first step. Step 1. And after that, when client A will send some data, sorry, so first is the establish. Second step is the when the client will send the data, that time it will encrypt the data. That is the second step. Now when broker will send the data to client C, it will decrypt the data. And fourth is the publish, because they are publishing the data. So this establish, encrypt, decrypt, and publish is the part of SMQTT. Now is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other question? Is there any other question?
No, sir.
Okay. So next part is the most important part, is the cloud IoT integration through AWS IoT. Even not only through AWS IoT, we can integrate it through IBM Cloud itself also, or Salesforce Cloud, or Microsoft Azure Cloud. So there are different options are available. So in case of cloud IoT integration, so this one is my, so out of this, tell me which one, if I use the MQTT protocol here. So it is not like that all the cloud IoT architecture will use the MQTT protocol only. So there are two other protocols are also there. Can you tell me that protocol? I told about COAP also, Constrained Application Protocol, isn't it? Can you remember? We have talked about the Constrained Application Protocol. सब कुछ तुम लोग भूल जाते हो, 2 दिन क्लास नहीं होता है तो सब कुछ भूल जाते हो। वो IoT स्टैक और वेब स्टैक याद है आप लोगों को? भूल गया आप लोग? Constrained Application Protocol के बारे में मैंने बताया था ना? Can you see that at the session layer, what are the 3 protocols are there that are being used by IoT? Yes or no? आप लोग बोलिए कुछ। Hello? Hello, can you hear my voice? Hello? Hello students, can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So ask you one question that have you heard about these three protocols apart from MQTT, COAP and XMPP that we have discussed that time? Why you are not answering? What is the full form of COAP? Girija, what is the full form of COAP? Yes or no? Imgati? Kaushik?
Constant application protocol.
Exactly. And what is the full form of XMPP? Exactly.
Extensible
XML packet
messaging.
protocol. XML is XMPP is the XML packet protocol. This is very unfortunate that I have told you several times. Still, you are not being able to answer. And even if you cannot answer it, you please at least tell me that okay. So please explain this one. So I will explain it. This one is constrained application protocol. And XMPP is the XML packet protocol. Now, so it depends upon what type of protocol you are being used. In case of cloud IoT integration through AWS IoT. Now, if I come back to that particular architecture, in one side IoT device is there, one side AWS IoT is there, another side AWS service is there. Now, you tell me if I use MQTT protocol over there. Now, which one, if I use MQTT protocol in case of AWS IoT, then which one will act as the subscriber, which one will act as the broker, and which one will act as the publisher? Please tell me which one will act as the. You got my question? So in this architecture, you tell me one side is IoT device, one side is AWS IoT, one side is AWS services are there. Now, which one will act as the publisher, which one will act as the broker, and which one will act as the subscriber? Tell me. Kaushik?
Sir, IoT devices will act as a uh, sir broker, subscriber और ये क्या था sir जो third वाला था?
We have three entities are there. One is subscriber,
Yes sir.
one is
Broker.
broker, and there is publisher.
Sir, publisher IoT devices होगा sir.
Publisher will be IoT devices. Very
Yes,
good.
sir. And sir, broker will be AWS services.
No, broker will be AWS IoT.
Oh yes sir, AWS IoT, and subscriber will be AWS services that the client will use.
Yes. So this is the actual procedure. One will be the publisher, one will be the broker, another will be the subscriber. So if we use MQTT, okay. Now, what are the functionalities are being done over here? So if I consider for a smart home applications where lots of it's a smart home application, na? So where lots of smart appliances are there. Now, in those smart appliances, all those devices are sending the data because they are actually what? They are actually publisher. Yes, these are publisher, right? So these are publisher. So they are sending different types of data to the cloud. Now cloud, after getting all those data, it is processing those data, because what type of processing is required? Sometimes filtering is required, sometimes actuation is required. Now for filtering and all the other applications which are being done by the machine learning and AI applications, so they are doing this. So when they are doing this, so they will act as the subscriber. After that, they are sending it to directly to your mobile. So this is basically cloud IoT integration architecture. Now, why this cloud IoT integration is required? What will be the problem if we can directly connect with the devices through broker subscriber model? अगर MQTT भी use करे तो why we, instead of connecting it directly, why we are going to some cloud services like AWS IoT or IBM Cloud or AWS Microsoft Azure? First thing is that there is a robust range of services are being provided by the cloud services. Means if I need the AI services of the collected data, that we can do. If we need the machine learning services of the collected data, that also we can do. If we need the security services of the collected data, that also we can do. Now, if the collected data is the surveillance data, of your video surveillance data, that video surveillance data requires huge amount of video processing. So for that, the normal machine is not capable to do that. So that also we can do in the cloud services, as already I told that we can use AWS Kinesis services. So that also we can do. Okay, so robust range of, first is the robust range of services are being provided from sensor node to edge and fog devices. Next is the data analysis and raw data filtering is become very easy. Third is the multi-layered secure ecosystem, because here we will get multi-layered secure system. In case of MQTT, we will always use SMQTT. Whatever data will come, so that data first it will go through the secure processes, encryption and decryption techniques. And we always keep a remote monitoring of the sensor node status. In case of normal system, if we directly connect with that, so we have to make a manual constant monitoring 24/7 of those devices, which is very difficult. Instead of this, we can go for remote monitoring of the sensor node. Through there is a application that is called CloudWatch. So through CloudWatch, we can keep a remote monitoring on those systems constantly. Now, if we find any discrepancy in the data, so immediately what it will do that it will send you one notification that okay, there is a problem in your sensor devices. Please take care of this one. You can check that whether your sensor node is alive or your sensor node becomes idle, alive or idle. So when it will become idle, if its battery gets drained down, then immediately it will get idle and it is not going to send you data. If it sends data, that case also it will send you only erratic data, not the actual data. So that is also become another problem. And next is the AI integration becomes very easy and it is scalable also. Is this okay with you? Is this okay, students? So first thing is that the robust range of services are being provided. Robust range of services means तुमको जिस तरह का services चाहिए, data analysis, machine learning, You can for that they have one services that is called SageMaker. You can take the application services of SageMaker. If you want to store the data, you can take the S3 services, right? If you want the video processing services, that case you can take the Kinesis services. So based on your application, you just collected the data, and after that, am I audible, students? Students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. तो बीच में connection खो गया था. Anyway, so based on your applications, you will get the immediate application range. Otherwise, what you have to do, you have to create the application in your machine, and after that, you will get the services. So it's that all kind of applications are available in the single window platform. So that is why the cloud integration is required. Another is that data analysis and raw data filtering is become very much easy. And also it will give you all kind of services in a multi-layered secured ecosystem. Means that there will not be any hacking of your data, because all your data will come through SMQTT protocol, and whatever data is there, it will go through a secured manner through encryption and decryption process. And that encryption and decryption is also asymmetric encryption and decryption technique. Okay. Next is the keeps remote monitoring of sensor node status. So if you want to make the remote monitoring of thousands of nodes, so you have to keep an eye of in your mobile or in your laptop 24/7, which is not possible. But in case of cloud, it will through CloudWatch, it will create a log data that how many nodes are right now sending the data, what is the battery status of each of the nodes. If the battery status goes beyond 20% or 10%, immediately you will be notified that these nodes are required battery replacement, take immediate action. So different types of notifications you are going to get through constant remote monitoring of the sensor nodes. Okay, and AI integration, artificial intelligence integration is also very easy and scalable. Scalable means right now you are connecting 10 IoT nodes. Now, if you want to connect it to 100 IoT nodes or 1000 IoT nodes, that also you can do it very easily. Is this clear? Now, students, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now, the step-by-step procedure of cloud IoT integration technique. Now, watch carefully. There are two parts. One is the AWS part, the cloud part, another is the IoT part. Okay. In case of AWS, there are two ways that you can visualize your IoT devices status through the AWS. One is the AWS management console, or another is that you can install a software development kit in your machine, which will connect automatically through your AWS, and you don't have to log in to your AWS every time. You can keep watching the status of your system through AWS. Okay, and from the IoT part, there are several activities are there. Suppose this is the sensor. Now, before starting it in the AWS, you have to create one IAM policy. What is the full form of IAM? Those who are working in AWS, they know what is IAM. IAM is basically integration authentication management. Integration authentication management. So it basically an authentication protocol to authenticate the user. Why the authentication is required? Whenever you will log in with your AWS account, first it will check that whether you are the authenticated user or not. If you are not, then you will not be allowed to access all the AWS services. Now, in a company, multiple numbers of employees are there, and all the employees will use that AWS of that particular company. That case, the company will give them the different login ID. Now, suppose out of this, suppose all the students, 60, how many students are there in this class? 45 students. Now 45 students have created one IoT company and they are utilizing, and I have subscribed to AWS IoT and I have given access to all of you. Now out of this, Girija, Himjyoti and Kaushik are involved in one project, IoT project. Now you have the AWS IoT access like the other students also, but you should have a extra privileged access of a project which is created only for you. That case, what will happen? These three should have one IAM, integrated authentication management number, IAM number. Each of the account holder will be given one IAM number. Now this IAM number I will authenticate specifically for that particular project. Now at the time of entering to your AWS account, when you will give your IAM number, that case it will immediately authenticate you to access that IoT project service. That is why for a particular subscriber and publisher model where you are authorized to access a particular sensor nodes data, that case you will be given one IAM and we have to set up that IAM policy beforehand. Is this loud and clear to all of you? Is this clear to all of you? If it is not clear, please tell me.
सर जो ऑथेंटिकेटेड यूजर होगा तो उसका कोई आईडी से मतलब वो इंटीग्रेटेड रहेगा या फिर कोई आईपी वगैरह रहेगा सर जो
अलग आईडी रहेगा. आई एम शोइंग यू. आप लोग जब कनेक्ट करते हो, whenever you connect, that time you never give the IAM number. Do you give that IAM number? Because you are root user.
यस सर
So you don't never give the IAM number because आप लोग कभी इस तरह के से काम किया ही नहीं. हाँ, आप लोग को सिंगल अकाउंट है and from that you are you generally start using your system. Now I am connecting in my AWS account. You check that one. Suppose AWS console. Actually, not through AWS Educate. Whenever I log in through my AWS console account, sign into the console. Can you see? Require unrestricted access. कोई restriction नहीं है. But for the IAM user, you will get only the restricted access only. User within an account that performing some restricted access or daily task. Now, whenever I clicked on the IAM user, now it will ask me for the IAM ID or my account alias. Now, if I click on the account alias, that case what will happen that within my account, my IAM ID is mapped with my account ID. Okay, so for that I don't have to give that one. Whenever I have try to connect with this one, immediately it will connect with my IAM number only. Okay. Now, if you go to the IAM, you will get one IAM ID also. So you can see that IAM user signing link. So this is my IAM user signing link. Now, your boss or who is the project coordinator or the project leader, he will give you the IAM access for that particular project, for that particular AWS IoT. You got it?
yes sir
Okay. Is there any other question?
सर रूट जो है वो मल्टीपल तो नहीं हो सकता है, एक ही होगा जो रूट यूजर होगा। हाँ सर, तो मतलब अगर एक्सेस दो को हम लोग दे नहीं सकेंगे तो फिर सर आईएम में ही देना पड़ेगा।
हाँ, अगर एक्सेस देना है तो व्हाट आई हैव टू डू दैट, आई हैव टू टेक योर IAM ID, आई हैव टू टेक गिरिजा's IAM ID, आई हैव टू टेक Hindu's IAM ID, and after that I have to give the access.
अच्छा, ओके ओके।
Is my screen visible now? I think not. Oh, sorry. Now is my screen visible? एक minute. So the first part is clear. Create IAM policy, students.
यस सर।
Okay. So next is that you have to register your device. So you have to register your device in the cloud. Okay. I will show you the step-by-step procedure. So you can see over here that from the sensor, the step one is that through AWS IoT, I'm creating the IAM policy. And second is that I'm registering my device. In step two, in the arrow, you can see. Now, whenever you are registering your devices, there will be one device shadow will be created. Device shadow is basically the your devices and miniature version of your devices, virtual miniature version of your devices will be created, through which you can get the time-to-time status of your device condition. Now, if you get the device shadow, and after that there is two options is there. Either you can connect directly through your mobile app, so that all the data, whether it is unfiltered data or raw data, that doesn't matter, all the data will come directly to your mobile. Or another option is that all the data will come and go through AWS IoT different functions or applications. If you want to filter those data, or if you want different, the data should go through different application processes. So that is why you can see here that after creating the device shadow, either you can send the data directly to your mobile, or you can send the data, the device shadow, through the device shadow to different IoT applications. Means if I want to run some program on top of that IoT application, then I will write AWS Lambda. If I want to store the data in a database, then I will use AWS DynamoDB. Or if I want to send some notification, that case I use AWS SNS. If I want to filter those data, that case I will use SageMaker. If I want to store the data, that case I will use S3, like this. So two options are there. Now, if you connect directly through your mobile, that case what will happen, that huge amount of data will start coming to your mobile devices, and your mobile devices cannot store those data. Like those who have used Blink, you have some of you have used and remotely monitor your data through Blink software. Can you remember?
Yes, sir.
Now, those who have used Blink, they have actually connected directly without any filtering or other thing. आप लोगों को डायरेक्टली डेटा मिल रहा है, वो डेटा आप लोग शो कर रहे हैं, वो डेटा कहीं पे स्टोर नहीं हो रहा है, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गोइंग थ्रू द इंटरनल प्रोसीड्यूर्स. Clear? Now, after creating the device shadow, what it will do that it will create one certificate and authentication management protocol, because as we are going to use the SMQTT protocol. So in case of certificate and authentication management protocol, what will happen there? It will create the public key and private key of your data. Private key of your data. So public key will be remain with the sensor and private key will remain with the AWS IoT. Now your data will be encrypted with the public key and will be sent to the AWS IoT, and when it will be received by the subscriber or the broker, so what it will do that it will decrypt it with the private key available with the AWS IoT. And after receiving this, AWS IoT will start the rules and features, means that in the rules and features it will check that whatever data is coming, this data should be sent to whom, DynamoDB or AWS Lambda or Amazon SNS or S3. So I will write some SQL query basically in that rule engine. Based on this, automatically it will start processing all those data before sending it to the your device. And then subscribe and publish the messages through MQTT and connect with different application as per the user requirement. So all those step-by-step procedure I will show you in the next class. Again, I will discuss those things and all the components also elaborately. This is all about the briefing of